My mom had never understood what I was doing. She had never read a book. Never read a book. I wrote one and it came out. Now she has read all mine. Takes her as long to read it as it does me to write it. But she just didn't understand, and I couldn't tell her. So finally, I was in Fort Lauderdale. I sold a novel. I called her up. I said, I'm beside myself. I said, Ma, I did it. I did it. I sold a book. She said, one of them novels, you say? I said, yes, ma'am. What novels? She said, you didn't pass it off as a truth, did you? I knew what she meant. I said, no, ma'am. They know I made it up. I mean, they don't think it happened. They know I just made it up, every bit of it. And she said, well, there's a lot of things in this old world I don't understand, and I'll never understand that. They taken and given you good money for something they known to be a lie. It is in sports that I can find the truth, a bona fide species of the truth that I cannot find anywhere else in the world. I can't find the truth in my government. My government lies to me. They lied to me about Cambodia, and they lie to me every other day. I can't find it in organized religion. They keep wanting to kill each other, one organization against another organization. They can't find it there. I can't find it in the university in which I work in. I mean, it's just fuzzy area. But now let's turn to sports. I can bench press on a good day 400 pounds. You can? Oh, gee, well, I'd like to see that. We've got a bench and 400 pounds. It just happened. We've got a couple guys to spot you, make sure you don't hurt yourself, and you can do it. You can't talk around or introduce learned doctrine or something to get past getting 400 pounds down your chest, back up in the air again. You either got it or you don't have it. The noble pit bull is not happy if he is not fighting. They never bark when they fight. Blood never, that is his justification for being in the world as far as he's concerned. Now, I know that people say, well, yeah, but you're the one that bred him, and so you're guilty. I know I'm guilty. You're the one that put him in the pit with the other dogs, so you're guilty. I know I'm guilty. You see, I a long time ago quit trying to pretend I wasn't guilty. As a matter of actual fact, I've lived around so many blocks. Whatever the charge, I'm probably guilty. I plead guilty. I don't want justice. I want mercy. Shakespeare said if every man got what he deserved, who would escape a whipping? So not me, I'd get a whipping. I don't want what I deserve. Give me mercy. Writers spend their lives thinking about those very subjects that the rest of the world has agreed never to think about. If any of that pops into their head, they get some diversion quickly to get it out of their head. In a play written in the Golden Age of Pericles, 5th century B.C. Christ, that's 5 centuries before Christ, this play was written in, yeah. Oedipus the king that everybody knows, and if you don't know that, I won't go over and play it, there's a line in it. There's a line in it. Where is the man who has not where is the man who has not dreamt of sleeping with his mother, sleeping in the carnal sense? Where is the man who has not dreamt of sleeping with his mother? Well, you ask an auditorium full of men that, anyway, they'll all say, I'm a man that never did that. No, I never. Well, all right, if you say so. Now, I know and you know that there are certain people in the world who disappear into the library and come out every 6 years with a book. I'll give you 2 such titles written by the same man. I won't give you his name. One of the titles is Passions of the Mind. That's about Freud. The other one is The Agony and the Ecstasy. That's about Michelangelo. And they're about that thick. That's what I call doorstop literature. It's great for putting by the door to keep the wind from blowing it shut. It's unreadable to me. It seems to me it ought to be unreadable to anybody who is literate in the sense that they have been readers for very long. Frost said it all gets bad when it gets too bookish. The book needs to smell like sweat and blood and shake the reader with all those abstract nouns you've ever heard, love and hope and mercy and compassion. It ought to do that. It ought not to smell of other books. It ought not to continually force your thinking and your concentration and your focus into other books. I love Jim Dickey and Flannery O'Connor because both of them are utterly fearless and utterly honest. Utterly honest. Just let me ask you, man, have you ever stopped to think what it must have been like for Flannery O'Connor to be a Roman Catholic? I mean, a hardcore. You got an essay that begins, I am no vague believer. She had it all, and she had it. And live in Milledgeville, and more than that, write books that got her name in the New York Times and all around, Time Magazine and everywhere else, where almost everybody, whether they were readers or not, had to find out she's writing books. Well, what do? Well, they obviously go get one. Like, hey, we got a neighbor who writes books. Hey, she's a sweet woman, a little harsh sometimes, but she's a sweet woman. And then peacocks she grazes, and here we get this book. And look in there and see Hazel Motes founding the Church of Jesus Christ without Christ and putting rocks in his shoes and binding his flesh with wire and blinding himself with lie. That's all just mortification of the flesh. Mortification of the flesh is a very old and honored tradition in the church. Los Católicos, the Catholics. And what it must have been like for Flannery O'Connor to bear up under and say, you know, I wrote that one, and I'm writing another one now. It's no mystery why Jim Dickey was a night fighter pilot in 2 wars, landing them things on carriers at night, going up in one of them things right by yourself looking for a guy to fight with. I mean, what? Say what? Well, that kind of courage, I guess we'll say physical courage, comes to his work translated into moral courage, spiritual courage. You say, well, you're being redundant. No, I'm not. Moral is not the same as spiritual. Anyway, the kind of courage that produced the sort of work he produced. I learned more from a man named Graham Greene, an Englishman, novelist, should have won a Nobel Prize and didn't. Died not too long ago. I read everything he's written, and I loved him, and I studied his work, and I learned from him, and I aped him. Robert Louis Stevenson said, all writers are sedentary apes. Now, he means by sedentary, we know that, sitting down. But don't mistake the other word, apes. He means aping, mocking, trying to do, and that's what we are. We find us a guy that we say, hey, in my case, Graham Greene, why? God, he's an Englishman, you're from Bay County, why Graham Greene? Because whatever else Graham Greene does, he always tells you a story. None of this old introspective musing and grousing and chewing your liver. Let's get on with the story. Keep me up tonight with this story you're telling me. I want to turn the page. He did that, and all I ever wanted to be, and all I think of myself as being, if I think about myself as being anything, is a storyteller. That's all. I just tell stories. The world wants to take away from you everything that makes you, you. Just give you a small, obvious example. Every school I've ever been in, including the university I teach in now, those schools and families and churches, any kind of institution, they like to talk of well-rounded people. You want to be well-rounded. If you're well-rounded, why, you can just get along with anybody or live anywhere, or you're just well-rounded. Well, let me tell you something, Jack. What's been done in this world and accomplished in this world, and the reason we're warm in the winter and cool in the summer and got enough to eat and the rest of it is because of jagged men and women. Jagged ones. With sharp corners. They weren't well-rounded. Edison wasn't well-rounded. Ford wasn't well-rounded. Hemingway wasn't well-rounded. They were all like because give you all analogies are bad. This is probably particularly bad. You think of a buzz saw, round, whatever, I guess it's called buzz saw. Round blade saw, skill saw, with some teeth on it. Well, them jagged edges cut right through oak. Try to do that without the teeth. What institutionalized everything is trying to do to you and to me is to take our teeth away.